deserve to be in the final. Jason playing really well. He knows how to use the team. Garry did surprise everyone with the primary also stopping Matthew in the semi-final. So they both deserve their spot here.
Okay, and in a short moment we will start with the team preview. Benjamin, how do you think maybe Jason will lead against Garry and vice versa?
Well, like I said, Nidoqueen deals with more than half of Garry's team. So by leading Nidoqueen and the Incineroar is actually really good against Garry's team, because look at Garry's team. He have the Thunderous Tyrion, the Sceptile, the Primarina, Incineroar, and Mawile all weak to Nidoqueen. And the worst part is you can't really pick up the one-hit KO on Nidoqueen with like all of them. So even at even Mega Sceptile's Leaf Storm is not enough to KO the Nidoqueen. Perhaps Garry have to bank on the discharge on Thunderous, but as you see, it's not a Choice Scarf Thunderous. So Thunderous Terran is not going to outspeed the Mega Sceptile to give it the special attack boost with the Lightning Rod. So Garry will have to find some way to give Sceptile the special attack boost to KO Nidoqueen. But in this case, I don't see how is he going to do that. So the Como O is also threatened by the Tapu Fini and the Mega Salamence here. So Jason really has the upper hand on the matchup.
Talking about matchup, we have discussed before that Thunderous might not be a good matchup against Nidoqueen, Thunderous Tyrion there. But do you think if Thunderous Tyrion carries coverage, like we can see before Hidden Power Ice?
Hidden Power Ice. I mean, we have seen Sludge Bomb, we have seen Thunderbolt. I'm not sure if it carries Hidden Power Ice. Probably it does, but it's not going to be enough against the Nidoqueen. But with Life Orb and also Thunderous Tyrion's special attack, maybe it's going to be close. But Nidoqueen and Nidoking, they are slightly different in terms of bulk and also attack. So Nidoqueen is slightly bulkier than Nidoking. It might actually leave the Hidden Power Ice from Thunderous Tyrion.
Okay. And we have seen here that both players are ready with their teams, and we'll commence to the game 1 of the grand final.
Let's give a round of applause for Oktavian Jason against Garry Karnadi in the grand final of the Indonesia Championship.
As you can see here, Jason is leading with Cresselia and with Nidoqueen, while Garry is leading with Primarina and Sceptile.
So right away here, Garry can also go for the Pledge combo, which we haven't pointed out yet. The Primarina and Sceptile Grass and Water Pledge combo, which isn't really common in VGC, but of course uncommon, and you have never seen before. It's two different things. So there's no way Jason can stop the Pledge from coming out on Garry's side. So he have to go for a Trick Room here. So Grass Pledge and also the Water Pledge. Garry not Mega Evolving the Sceptile, might be Focus Dash, might be the Mega Stone, we will never know.
And we see here nicely when dropping the Sceptile into -1. And on his speed, maybe Nidoqueen can outspeed the Sceptile.
Yeah, -1 maybe, especially when it's not Mega Sceptile. But Jason will have to be teaming Nidoqueen, which he might be in this situation. So if Nidoqueen is indeed faster than Sceptile, Sludge Bomb will for sure pick up the one-hit knockout on Sceptile. Cresselia go for the ally switch, wanting the Nidoqueen to leave for another turn. And Nidoqueen is indeed faster than the Sceptile, but instead Sludge Bomb onto Primarina is going to pick up the one-hit KO! With the Sheer Force and Life Up boost, it's going to be enough.
That's a lot of damage from the Nidoqueen, and Grass Pledge doing a little damage to Cresselia.
Yeah, Grass Pledge without the partner's Water Pledge is not going to do a lot of damage here. Garry is in a really bad position, and it's also good information for Jason to know that Sceptile might not be carrying the Mega Stone because not Mega Evolving here. I don't see a reason for Garry not to Mega Evolve, because Jason obviously isn't packing any electric move here, and by Mega Evolving you also boost your special attack and speed. So if he's actually Mega Sceptile, the Ice Wind drop might not actually matter much on Sceptile, because Mega Sceptile will still outspeed the Nidoqueen.
Yeah. And here we can see Incineroar being sent out by Garry, and Jason replaces his Cresselia with Incineroar to intimidate and to reduce the attack of both Incineroar and Sceptile by one stage. What do you think Jason is trying to achieve here?
Jason might want to protect the Nidoqueen, and the next turn to fake out the Sceptile or whatever is coming in on the Garry's side. In this case, it would be the Thunderous. Before it was Incineroar, so maybe Jason wants to fake out the Incineroar so that Nidoqueen can go for a Sludge Bomb onto Sceptile. As we have seen before, that Nidoqueen does outspeed the Sceptile after the Icy Wind. But now Thunderous is here. Unless he pack a Hidden Power Ice, there's no way Garry can touch the Nidoqueen.
Yeah, and here I think the best choice for Jason is to fake out Thunderous and to follow it up with a Sludge Bomb because it's quite safe, because whatever is coming out of there
it's still going to take damage.
Take it down with Sheer Force boosted Life Orb Sludge Bomb.
Yeah, Garry might be switching out the Sceptile into Incineroar, might want to keep Sceptile a little bit more longer to do some damage against Nidoqueen, but he doesn't switch out the Sceptile, maybe wanting to sack it, but I mean, all Nidoqueen needs to do is to Sludge Bomb the Sceptile. Like you say, nothing is safe coming in, even the Incineroar, and this might just look like game over for Garry already.
Yeah, as you can see here, Nidoqueen really pressures the Garry's team right here, as you have said in the beginning, because Nidoqueen have a good matchup against Garry's whole team.
Yes.
Yeah, it threatens every Pokemon, maybe except Como.
Yeah, maybe the Como, but like we've seen that Garry brought all 4 Pokemon weak to the Nidoqueen, and Nidoqueen hasn't taken any single damage from Garry's Pokemon at all. It's still at full HP, and I don't know what to say about this. The only way for Garry to come back is probably a Hidden Power Ice crit on the Nidoqueen.
On the Nidoqueen. But in this turn, we've seen Nidoqueen protect.
Very safe.
Yeah, a safe play from Jason, and we see the fake out going in. And Thunderbolt going to the Incineroar spot.
What's telling me is the Thunderous Terran might not carry a Hidden Power Ice, but Jason can just go for the Assault. The Earth Power onto Incineroar here. Especially after his Incineroar knocking out the Assault Vest, it's gonna pick up the one-hit KO, and Thunderous doesn't look like he's carrying anything to hit Nidoqueen at all besides a Sludge Bomb, which will do nothing at all because Nidoqueen is 4 times resist to poison move.
But on this turn, what do you think will Jason do? What's Jason's best move here?
Jason's best move is to take out the Incineroar because Incineroar is threatening it with a knockoff, and we do see the Thunderous is carrying a Protect, so Thunderous might go for a Protect and knock off onto the Nidoqueen. But like I said, you will want to Earth Power the Incineroar because what can Thunderous do to your Nidoqueen at all? Yeah. And it's also shown that he's using Thunderbolt 2 times straight. Might not be carrying any Hidden Power Ice at all. Yeah.
Without Hidden Power Ice, there's probably no way here that Garry's team can touch Jason. Maybe here we have the Sceptile, but I don't think Grass Pledge will deal enough damage to KO Nidoqueen. He
needs the Grass Pledge and Water Pledge combo to KO Nidoqueen, and Jason make a really good read by protecting the Nidoqueen so that the Pledge doesn't really work because it just go through hit the Protect, and Garry recognized this and just go for handshake with Jason. Jason's Nidoqueen not taking any damage at all. Yeah, this is 1-0 for Jason.
A very good matchup from Nidoqueen into the whole team. As you can see, picking up KO 1 by 1 into the enemy team.
And without taking any damage.
Yeah, and without taking any damage. Jason is very good at protecting the Nidoqueen with the ally switch, with the wild time protects.
Yeah, so
and with the fake out too.
Yeah, had the turn 1 Water and Grass Splash hit the Cresselia instead, do you think Jason's position would have been bad?
If it goes into Cresselia, I don't think it will be very bad because even at -1 speed,
it will still do a lot of damage because of the Choice Specs, Choice Specs boosted Pyramarina and the stab move. So there's a chance that it might knock out the Cresselia, and if it did, it would be really huge for Garry, and Garry might have just won the game there and then.
Yeah, but so far we haven't seen Jason using Trick Room on his Cresselia, I think.
Yeah, he might not be carrying a Trick Room. Maybe Icy Wind's Psychic. We have seen Psychic. We have seen Ally Switch, the last move. Oh, yeah, Helping Hand. Yeah. So right now, Garry have to adjust his game plan. Nidoqueen is the biggest threat to his team. Like that's the alpha. He has to take out the alpha and, you know, win against Jason. And Jason knows that he needs to bring Nido Queen here. So we're moving on to the second game of the grand final. Let's give a round of applause to Jason and Garry.
Yeah, sure. And we can see here an Incineroar and Nido Queen coming from Jason, while Garry sends out Incineroar and Primarina.
So I don't think Incineroar carries Fire Pledge here.
I don't think so as well. So maybe he wants to go straight for a fake out on the Nido Queen,
and then
Hyper Voice.
Hyper Voice, super effective damage against Nido Queen. But the thing is, Incineroar can also trade fake out the Primarina, and Nido Queen just go for a Slush Bomb into the Primarina. But what I feel that this lead for Garry isn't that bad, because Incineroar can go for a knockoff onto the Nido Queen, and Primarina can also go for a Hyper Voice. So whichever Nido Queen KOs, she will be taking another damage back, which isn't really good for her.
And we can see a Slush Bomb here, taking out the Primarina in one hit.
So Garry didn't expect the Primarina to unspeed the Nido Queen, which I mean, Garry should know his Primarina speed better than all of us here. And as we have seen that after IC win, Nido Queen indeed outspeed the Sceptile, which is one of the fastest Pokemon.
So it's probably timid, maybe timid Nido Queen.
Timid Nido Queen, yeah. And I mean, Garry shouldn't have risked the Primarina, and right now he's bringing in the Thunderous instead of a Sceptile. So what's telling me is that Garry have lost his biggest answer to Nido Queen, and Jason might have just won the final.
Yeah, maybe here, but we haven't really seen all of the moves that Thunderous have. Maybe Garry is preparing for a surprise. Maybe Hidden Power Ice coming out for
or maybe Gracian Z Thunderous.
We never know.
Z Grass Knot.
Yeah, Z Grass Knot.
Is it enough though?
I don't think that's enough though. I don't think that's enough to KO the Nido Queen here. Nido Queen is really dangerous here.
Yeah.
Can even KO the Thunderous with an Ice Beam. Protect here.
Going for a safer play to scout the Thunderous move, but Thunderous still going for the Thunderbolt. Looks like Garry really doesn't have any answer for the Nido Queen, and all Jason needs to do the next turn is to up power the Incineroar and knock off the Thunderous, which he can do it in the next turn.
Yeah, this is what we see in the last game, right?
Yeah, but Thunderous will just take out the Incineroar, allowing Jason to have a free switch into probably a Salamence or Cresselia, which is actually better.
Yeah, which is built here and is able to take damage from Thunderous better.
Yes.
And here Nido Queen is free to take out the Incineroar with an Earth Power. But we haven't really seen what's behind the Incineroar.
I mean, if I were Garry, once my Primarina faints, I will bring Sceptile in, because it's actually it's the only Pokemon that deals damage against the Nido Queen. And if he's bringing Thunderous instead, that what's telling me is Garry doesn't have any Pokemon that can touch Nido Queen at all. Probably a Kommo-o in the back, but I mean, Jason have a Tapu Fini, and if Jason did brought Tapu Fini in this game, like I said, it might have been game over for Garry already.
Yeah. You can hear a Thunderbolt connecting to the Incineroar, taking out the Incineroar, dealing recoil with Life Orb, and Earth Power coming into the Incineroar, taking it out with one hit because of its Assault Vest being knocked off by Jason's knockoff Incineroar before.
Yeah, from Garry's reaction, we have already know that looks like he doesn't really have any answer against Nido Queen. Just like game 1, Nido Queen is not taking any damage from Garry's team, Pokemon, and it's gonna be the Mawa, which doesn't really enjoy facing the Nido Queen at all.
Maybe this time finally the Nido Queen can take damage, maybe from Sucker Punch.
Yeah, I think that's
not enough to take KO the Nido Queen here.
Well, maybe if Garry have Grass Knot, he can just go for a Grass Knot and Sucker Punch, which should be enough to KO the Nido Queen here. But if Cresselia go for another IC win, and if Jason have a Tapu Fini in the back, Jason can just go for the Helping Hand, Muddy Water, or the Hydro Vortex to KO the Thunderous, and Mawile can't really do anything back against the Tapu Fini. Your Iron Hit will not be enough to KO the Fini unless it's a critical hit, which might turn the game around. So Mawile is going to Mega Evolve here, and Garry needs to KO the Nido Queen with a Sucker Punch. Cresselia is going to Ally Switch. So it looks like Jason really don't want his Nido Queen to take any damage.
Yeah. Sucker Punch.
Oh, Call! Garry predicted the Ally Switch.
sludge
Slash
bomb
bomb onto
the
Crusader.
Nido Queen.
Is it gonna be enough? No! Of power onto Mo.
Power. Ice
Beam
beam to the
instead.
Thunders. But on the next turn, it will probably take another sucker punch.
I mean, another era switch then.
But another free switch maybe. Then on the next turn, Tabufini can come in and use the
Helping hand,
boosted
Hydro Vortex.
Vortex.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter here. Jason is in an amazing position, and Garry recognizes
Yes.
that, and he's gonna forfeit.
And
Oktavian Jason.
congratulations to Jason, our grand
be your
final winner for this season.
Well played by Jason, recognizing that his Nido Queen is indeed the play against Garry's team.
Yeah, Garry's team. Garry's team. Almost every Pokemon is very weak.
Unsaid. Oh.
Jason taking it out one by one. Without on the 2 games, not even the Nidoking takes a little damage from Sucker Punch in the end. But it's not enough to pick up the KO here.
Maybe if Garry have a Trick Room setter on the team, he can go for like a Trick Room, and Mo can probably do some damage against the Nido Queen, which can be huge. But unfortunately, he doesn't have any of that. But I feel like Garry should continue leading with the Sceptile and the Primarina. Go for the Flash combo against the Crusader, which might have a chance to pick up the one-hit KO because of a Choice Specs boosted Primarina. But Jason recognizing that his Nido Queen is the play against Garry's team, and indeed he won the tournament with the Nido Queen, and it's proven that the team works not only in Japan but also in Indonesia.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and we'd like to add too that Garry is last year's finalist and now back in the
Defending his finalist title.
Defending his finalist title. And now we'll have an interview with both of these players. We'll be back with the interview soon.
Stay tuned.
Okay, welcome back, trainers. Now we have Garry Karnadi, our runner-up on this season.
Hey.
Okay, Garry, how do you feel about the previous match?
The match with Jason, right?
Yeah, the match with Jason.
It was a real tough match for me because all my attackers are really weak against them, and it's a really bad matchup for me.
Yeah, and about this tournament, what do you feel about your performance during the tournament?
This whole tournament, or
Yeah, this whole
the
tournament.
season, or
Yeah, the whole season and this tournament today.
okay, the whole season I get to the top 8, so I don't have to get to the last chance qualifier because I won the first tournament, right?
Yeah.
But in this tournament, I think I did pretty good. Still lose, but it's okay.
But it's okay. Still a runner-up, yeah. As if I remember correctly, last year you're the runner-up too.
Yes.
And this year you're still holding the runner-up status.
Yeah.
And how do you feel about that?
What can I say? I think I'm a bit disappointed, maybe, but I think I'll take second place.
Yeah, it's better than nothing.
Yeah,
right?
it's better than nothing,
It's better
bro.
than nothing. What do you hope in the future? Will you still try to get the first place finally?
It depends on.
It depends on life.
Nah, not really. But I hope Pokemon-id keeps doing this tournament.
Okay, and that's it with Garry. Congratulations for being the runner-up
Thank you.
again.
Still.
And we'll have the winner soon after this.
Okay, go.
Hi everyone, I'm with your PTC champion, Oktavian Jason. Congratulations.
Thanks.
So how do you feel about this tournament?
This tournament is quite. What do you mean? What do you say? Quite competitive. Quite competitive. There's a lot of good player here. There's especially a lot of new one.
So what makes you choose the champion team from Japan? I mean, it's proven that it won there, and you also won here.
Yeah, I see it's a really good team. I mean, it's won a national tournament, and I want to use that team because it looks interesting. There's Nido Queen there.
Yes.
That I want to try.
Yeah, it's proven that you know how to pilot the team. You have been using it really well. As for the final game, I was telling William that your matchup is really good. Your Nido Queen isn't even taking any damage at all in game 1 and game 2 until the Sucker Punch, which is the only move that can hit your Nido Queen. you recognize that Nido Queen is the alpha of
key.
your team, and it's the win condition against the Garry's team. So had the grass and water pledge hit Nido Queen, it will be a game over
Yeah,
for you.
yeah.
So you protected Nido Queen, a really good call for you.
Yeah, I try to predict the play from Garry. From the first look, it really looks like the Platts team, Garry team. So yeah, then I try to try to speed control since I don't know the speed of the Primarina.
Yeah, so I was like thinking, had Garry went for Crusader instead, maybe the choice specs booster pledge would KO Crusader. What would have been your game plan from there?
I'll still try play around Nido Queen because Nido Queen is really the key of the team. Maybe I'll try to use fake out setup with the instant roar.
Yeah, you play really well for day 1 and day 2 using the exact same team without changing. People already know your team, and yet you still brought it and won the tournament, only losing 2 games, day 1 and day 2.
Yeah.
I mean, you played it really well. Congratulations once again.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, your champion for PTC 2018, Oktavian Jason. Thank you for watching the PTC 2018. I'm Benjamin Tal, and this is your champion, Jason. We'll be seeing you again next year.